Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Wicked Bitter channel. I'm Travis. I thank you for checking out this video. Hey, real quick, if you're somebody returning to this channel, welcome back. I appreciate you being here and supporting the channel, but if you're somebody new to this channel, I ask that you please take a couple of seconds to consider subscribing to this channel. We are posting videos weekly about the WWE product. We also talk about some AEW sometimes, but because WWE is on fire, I talk about them a little more often than I do about AEW, but it's not off the table. I'm telling you right now, we have a great community here. I'm trying to build and grow this channel, and by everybody's support, that's what helps this channel grow. So if you can subscribe to this channel, if you can like the video, comment on the video, it helps reach other people who are WWE or wrestling fans, and it helps get them to see this channel, and maybe you can find somebody who enjoys wrestling content, find my channel, and then they can subscribe, and then we can all be part of this community together, which is the goal. How are we feeling after Monday Night Raw? Tell you what, man, after SmackDown last week, I was feeling a little down. I was like, man, this draft is terrible because SmackDown, nothing happened. It was the worst. I didn't enjoy it. So then, I posted a video about it, and somebody in the comments said, hey, don't worry about it. Monday Night Raw, there's going to be more. And I'll tell you what, there wasn't much more that happened on Raw. It was kind of the same thing. It was kind of boring. The draft combined in 2 nights had, I think, around 60 picks. And you want to guess how many people in 60 picks changed shows? It was about roughly 18 selections where they switched shows. And I'm talking about like factions combined as a pick. There was about 18 or 19 picks that switched shows. That's not even half. That's not even half of everybody who got picked. And to me, I don't like the way that looks. I didn't expect it to be literally everybody switching from one show to another, but at least give us half. And out of those 18, 19 picks, how many of those were NXT picks? 7. 7 of those were NXT picks. So if you had about 18 people or 18 selections switching shows, and 7 of them are from NXT, that leaves you with only 11-ish picks. I'm off maybe by 1 or 2 here. That leaves you around 11 picks, 10 or 11 picks that they actually changed shows. Now let's just assume there is a good portion of the audience, right? Because not everybody watches NXT. I won't lie. I don't really watch NXT. I am aware of who's down there. Sometimes I might watch it, so it's not like I'm completely clueless to it. But let's just assume like half of your audience never watches NXT and doesn't know anybody from NXT at all, other than people that you might have brought up here and there, maybe like Carmelo. They're used to him because they've seen him on SmackDown a couple times. You're going to go with half the audience here, in my example, that never watches NXT. That gives them only 10 or 11 picks where they actually know who it is and they're switching shows. To me, that's not that fun. I don't know. It could be just me. I might be in the minority, but this draft, I think, was absolutely terrible. I did not enjoy it. There were a couple of cool picks. There were ones that I got right, but I got way more wrong than I got right. But it was cool to see that I was not that off on some of the picks and what maybe the mindset might be behind them. But, man, tell you what, I wish we could have had a do-over on both nights, and I wish we could have done some things a little differently. It'd be cool to bring back like the randomizer, like Blake, I think it was Blake in the comments who mentioned it, the randomizer where it was just like a spinning wheel kind of thing on the screen and it just lands on somebody. That to me is more exciting. Or even, remember when they had like the bingo balls, like they would roll the thing and then pull out a name and name it. That was more exciting. Or even my all-time favorite is when there's general managers for both Raw and SmackDown standing at 2 separate podiums. This is like the original, where one of them would go and then the other would have some banter with them and then they would pick somebody. That is more exciting to me. And again, on night 2, they did the same thing that they did on night 1 that I had a problem with. The whole Nia Jax and Liv Morgan picks were one right after another for alternate shows. That to me bothers me because the same thing happened on night 2. Monday Night Raw picked LWO. And the very next pick on the same round was Legado del Fantasma. How does that what are the chances? How does that happen? Like, I know it's all scripted, right? I know it's a show. I get it. But you're trying to make people believe that this stuff is not scripted, right? You're trying to make this thing not predictable. How much more predictable can you get by doing that? You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of the WWE video game, the 2K video game. If some of you don't play the game, just hear me out for a second. In that game, there's a mode on that game called Universe Mode. And in that mode, you get to control everything. You make the shows, you make the rosters, you pick your champions, you create the matches, you create rivalries, tag teams, whatever. You do everything. You're in control of everything of the entire universe. That's yours, right? Every year when that game comes out, my brother and I get the game. What we do is we find a day. It's usually one of the first couple days the game's out where he comes over and we do a draft. He'll pick a show, I'll pick a show. He'll get Raw, I'll get SmackDown. That's what it's been the past few games. What happens is we do a draft because we want to do our own universe. We want to have our own shows. And you know what happens during that? We used to put names in a hat, but now we don't do that. Now we go down the list. It's not random anymore. We actually legitimately pick who we want. Both were fun. I like the picking because I like to shape my own roster, okay? So hang with me for a second. We'll both sit here, and in real time, he'll pick somebody. And we both know who the top people are in the game, right? For years, it's been Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. And now it's Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins for us, and Roman Reigns. So we both know that if he picks Cody, there's a chance, a huge chance, that I'm going to pick Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns, and vice versa. This is what it reminds me of, because he'll pick Cody, and then I'll be like, well, okay, then I'll pick Seth. But that's us being right next to each other, seeing and hearing who the other one is picking. WWE's draft is not supposed to be that way. They're in separate boardrooms. They're in separate draft rooms, I should say. Raw's got theirs, SmackDown's got theirs. They're not communicating with one another. So what are the odds that on Friday, Liv Morgan gets picked, and on that same round, SmackDown has chosen Nia Jax? How? When they were the two people were talking about the most on Raw last week. And then the same thing happens here. Oh, let me get this Latin faction, the LWO, and the other one's thinking the same way on the same pick. Well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go with Legado del Fantasma, our own Latin group. How? How could they think that way if they're not sitting right next to each other knowing that the other is picking the other one? It drives me nuts. Also, one more bone to pick with the NXT with the draft. If NXT is supposed to be treated as a third brand, why wasn't anybody getting drafted to NXT? Why is it that Raw and SmackDown were only picking people from NXT? You want to make this NXT on the same level as these two shows, right? You want to make them seem like they are on the same level. They're going to, they got TV deals. They said that they're going to be involved with the draft. They're not really involved with the draft. All they were was just kind of like a picking ground for Raw and SmackDown. I mean, I feel like it would have been even more exciting if we had actual people get drafted to NXT. That'd be kind of a cool thing to look at. One thing that I was kind of upset about, I really wanted Gunther and Imperium to go to SmackDown. I really did. They ended up staying on Raw, and I'm like, okay, fine, they're on Raw. But then what happened after that, Dragunov, this is what I wanted. I just knew that I wanted Dragunov on the same show as Imperium and Gunther. That's just all I knew. That's whether it was SmackDown or Raw. I was when Gunther and Imperium got picked, I was like, all right, now we got to get Dragunov to Raw with them. Because he's either going to feud with them or Gunther, or he's going to join them. It's going to be one or the other. They're going to be connected in some way. I wanted them on the same show. I'm glad it happened, and I can't wait to see what happens from there. And not only that, Giovanni Vinci completely now is out of sight, out of mind for Imperium. We don't have to continue a feud with them. Nothing. He gets drafted to SmackDown. I'm assuming they're going to go with his NXT gimmick when he's like the real like Italian like gimmick that he's got going on there that he had when he got his name switched to Giovanni Vinci when he got sent to NXT a couple of years ago. So I think we're going back to that. I need Dragunov either inside of Imperium. That sounded bad. I need Dragunov to either join Imperium or feud against Imperium. One or the other, and it's got to happen. I will also stand by this, and I'm realizing that this channel is becoming... We acknowledge our tribal chief, and we also... I'm pulling for Xavier Woods, man. I mean, I might be the only one. You don't have to like him if you don't want to. I've always liked Xavier Woods. He definitely has the charisma. I've loved him in NXT before he even became in the New Day. I want Xavier Woods to get a nice Intercontinental Championship run. I think he deserves it, to be honest with you. Big E has won the WWE Championship. Kofi has won the WWE Championship. If they don't want to give Woods a run with the WWE Championship, let the guy at least win the IC title and let him do something with it. No more King of the Ring. Let him just get the IC title, please. Let's just see what he can do with it. And you know what also would make it cool that, to me, the New Day being together means all three of them. When there's no Big E, New Day kind of loses it for me for a little bit. So I'm a little more open now to splitting up New Day. Only if there's a plan for both of them. If there's not a plan, you might as well keep them together. But if you eventually want to have, let's just say Woods does win the IC title and then he becomes a heel and he fights Kofi for it, tell me there's not money in that build. That would be amazing. I got a question, though. They were in Kansas City on Monday Night Raw. Why was Pat Mahomes in Kansas City a heel? Why was he helping out and being cool with all the bad guys? That makes zero sense to me. If this was a different state, look, I'm a Chargers fan. I don't like Kansas City, right, as the football team. I don't like them. I hate Pat Mahomes. I respect him. He's nasty. He's great. If you don't watch football, I apologize for this. He's a really great, fantastic, probably the best quarterback in the league. I acknowledge that. But as a Chargers fan, I'm so damn tired of it. And I'm not the only one. Every team hates the teams that win all the time. Look how long everybody hated the Patriots for because they kept winning. It's the same with Kansas City now. So why, in his own state, is he being portrayed as a heel? If this was in a different state, I could understand. But no, this is his home crowd. They don't even know whether they should boo or not. Why would they want to boo him for helping out Logan Paul, but it's Pat Mahomes. You don't want to boo your quarterback. It just made no sense to me. Real quick before we go, I got to talk about the feud that we got going on here. It's the best feud. I don't care what anyone says right now. This is the best feud in WWE and maybe even all of pro wrestling. I'm going to stick by that, and I will die on this sword. Drew McIntyre and CM Punk is the best thing WWE has going, and it probably is the best thing AEW has going too. I mean, it's better than what they got, and it's the best that WWE has. This is a money feud, and these guys haven't even laid hands on each other except for what happened at WrestleMania. I mean, you're talking about two guys, especially Punk right now, who's very limited in how physical they can be. And this has been easily the best feud we got going on right now. I mean, this is a money feud. I hope they stretch this out for a few months when they're actually having matches, and I hope the matches are great, and I hope they're fun, and I hope these promos get better. I hope these segments get better because they're great right now. I can only imagine how much better they're going to be as we keep going. This is it right here. Punk cut a great promo on Raw. I'm not going to say it's pipe bomb levels, but it was great. Like I got that feeling of that old CM Punk when he had the pipe bombs. Like I had that type of aggressive intensity. You know, it wasn't all just love for the crowd. It was more like, I love you guys, but now let's handle business. And he actually cut a great promo where he was really going after Drew, talking about how he's going to make sure his life is a living hell when he's back and he's healthy and injured from being injured. This is the Punk I wanted. I love when Punk has a little bit of an edge to him because we all know Punk's a jerk, right? But I love CM Punk. I always will. That's my guy. That was a great promo, and yeah, this is a money feud, man. Like Reigns is gone right now, Rollins is gone right now. Punk is the top guy. He is, other than Cody. He's definitely the top guy on Raw, and you can argue that McIntyre is too. I wouldn't even say Priest is right now. It's CM Punk and Drew at the top of Raw, and that's just the way it's going to go for a little while. One little thing before we go, too. I forgot about this. There's a lot of talk about the Wyatt Six. How about if the Wyatt Six join Monday Night Raw so they can feud with Final Testament? I feel like we're going to have them feud with where stables have enough people, because if you're going to have Bliss in there, if you're going to have Uncle Howdy, I don't know if Eric's going to be in there. I don't know if Braun's going to be in there because he just came back by himself. But if you are going to group all these people together, at least put them against another stable that has the equal amount of men in there, and you also have the woman factor as well with Scarlett, and you got Bliss. I mean, I think that'd be kind of cool. LWO, if Wyatt Six are going to be heels, they can feud with LWO because Vega and Ray and everyone else is in there. So maybe those are the moves why they came to Raw, because Wyatt Six might be coming to Raw to feud with them. That'd be kind of cool too. Anyway, you guys let me know what you thought about the draft. I was let down 100%, and I should have known better. I don't know why I got so hyped for it. I love drafts. I do them in every sport game I have. I always do drafts. They're fun, but when they're done the way WWE did it the past couple days, not a fan. You guys have a great rest of your week. I appreciate the support as always. If you haven't subscribed, I ask that you please consider subscribing to this channel. We would love to have you. It's a great community. I only want this thing to grow and get bigger and better, and the only way that happens is if you show the support, like many already have. I welcome everybody. It's a great community here. We keep it cool, respectable, and yeah, everybody's awesome. So appreciate you guys. Got my bees, Bruins tonight. Can't wait to see them. Yeah, you guys have a great rest of your week, and until we eat again, stay bitter.